The Civil War was a war between the Americans and the Confederates, the 11 states that said they would secede if Lincoln was elected president because he would end slavery. But nobody believed that they would leave, and they did, so America lost 11 states. The southern states were led by Jefferson Davis, and he was a soldier in the army, and he fought for independence. The USA had 20 states backing them up, when the CSA only had 11. Then there were 5 border states. They were fought over between the two countries, and Lincoln knew that he had to get these states on his side, or he would be surrounded by the CSA. If he took the capital from the U.S., they would have won the war. Then they would all be Confederate States of America. The first battle of the Civil War would happen at Fort Sumter, where nobody would die at the battle, but they would lose that fort until the war was over. During the war, the first bullet was ever fired during the Civil War out of the Enfield and the Springfield rifles. It fired faster and more accurate than any gun ever did before. The other technology created was the Sharp's repeating rifle, and better yet, the Gatling gun. Also, the first battleships were created, even submarines. The battleships were armored so nobody could shoot through them, and a submarine could go underwater where the enemies could not see them coming over, so they would surprise attack. But it was a fail because the coal smoke would fill the inside of the sub, and then the soldiers couldn't breathe. Another invention was the torpedo. It would blow boats out of the water. The funny thing about the war was that America was buying cotton from the South so they could make uniforms, and the South was buying shoes so their soldiers could have boats to wear. The CSA was a government set up from 1861 to 1865 by 11 slave states. They had a president named Jefferson Davis, and they seceded because Lincoln was elected and he was going to end slavery, and they did not want that. They even made a constitution that was identical to the USA's, except it said that they would have slavery forever and could not be outlawed. Their first big win at Fort Sumter, where they took a fort on an island, that meant that they could train soldiers and do army stuff without getting caught. Then America came down through the South using a war technique called total war, and they would kill anything that moved and take anything they wanted and burn down all their stuff, and they would have no money.